What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Chase, aka CR Media. Thank you for joining us this morning. This is another episode of the Sunday Morning Drive. Trying to get things kicked off here. Bear with me just one moment. Okay. All right, guys. So,
There we
hey,
go. There we go.
there we go. What's up, Dylan? How are you this morning, sir?
Good, good. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing pretty good myself, man. I see you got your Seahawks gear on. I got my Chiefs
Yep.
gear on. We're ready to go, man. It's Sunday. It's football. I got my coffee. I got my black dog cup because I got that dog in me. So
Mm-hmm.
I think we should be waiting on one more, maybe.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe. Otherwise, it might just be you and me this morning, and that's
Hey,
all
that's
right.
fine.
Yep. So let me. I got two monitors here. I'm trying to get this other one turned on and hooked up. So my streaming area was my bedroom, and now I've moved it to my downstairs kind of area. So I'm all over the place this morning.
Is it more spacious? Is it better that way for you?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
that's good then.
The only reason I didn't originally do it, man, is because I got 3 kids. So sometimes, sometimes when you're trying to stream and you got 3 kids, they don't care. They don't give a f at all. So, do you have anything you wanted to touch base on yesterday?
I mean, like talking about college wise.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was a crazy week just
It was.
overall. I mean, it was nice seeing Ole Miss win. I picked Ole Miss to beat Kentucky, which was pretty good. That Oklahoma loss was crazy. I live in Oklahoma. Like a lot of unhappy people. Oklahoma had a pretty good win against Oklahoma State had a pretty good win against Baylor. That's going to mean a lot for the Big 12. Kansas is 5-0, first time since 2009. I lived in Kansas, so that's a fun thing to see. Yeah, it's
I'm
just a
in
crazy
Missouri,
week.
so I'm in Missouri, and we've always kind of the majority of my life, Kansas football has always sucked.
Yep.
Um,
I went to school in Kansas, so I definitely, I definitely know that narrative.
so it was like, okay, Missouri football sucks too, but Kansas just had basketball. Now Kansas is good at football and basketball. Now I got to hear it. Now I got to hear it 3 or 4 times from all my friends. So
Hey, Missouri played it close against Georgia,
yeah,
surprisingly.
that which I'll be interested to see how the rankings come out next week.
Yeah, I was like going through it in my head, and I was like, do you have to put Alabama back at 1? Because like every week I kind of make my own little prediction and compare it to like the actual rankings. And I was like going through it, and I was like, man, does Georgia stay at 1 this week? Like they, like, ugh. But yeah, I mean, I think Alabama will probably be ranked 1 after this. I think they beat a ranked opponent pretty comfortably without Bryce Young. And did he go out in the second or third quarter? He went out around that time. But I mean, still, I think Alabama will probably be 1, Georgia will be 2, then it'll be the latter, like Ohio State, Michigan, Clemson, USC.
So we've got a game going on right now in London.
Yeah,
Freddie,
7-7.
appreciate you joining this morning. Freddie says roll tide. You know, is this the year that Alabama gets knocked down to reality, or?
I mean, maybe it's a lot more competitive of a college football scene. Of course, like you're going to have your Ohio States of the world. Georgia's still undefeated. They're still a good team. They're still like the reigning champs, so to say. So, like, I mean, you can't count them out. You're gonna have a lot of contenders. I mean, it's always hard to say like, yes, this team's gonna knock off Alabama because like you can't just say that. It's kind of like the NFL and Tom Brady. You just don't want to bet against them. So it's gonna be hard to say like this team will knock off Alabama, but there are contenders. Of course, they weren't the national champions last year, so obviously it's bound. It can happen again.
Absolutely. So like I said, we're driving down the gridiron here, guys. We want to start it off, talk a little bit about what happened yesterday. And then now we want to talk about what's happening today. As of right now, the Saints and the Vikings are playing in London. There's about 2 minutes left in the second quarter. It's tied 7-7. We're going to kind of go down each game and make our predictions. Dylan, who you got in this game?
So I picked the Vikings. The Saints losing to the Panthers last week was kind of like, what? I mean, Baker Mayfield's not good. I think I read a stat that he has the worst QBR in the league. Like, and it's very bad. Like at the bottom. So I feel like losing to the Panthers last week wasn't something that's good. Jameis Winston's not playing. Andy Dalton's playing. That's not a knock on Andy Dalton, but obviously they don't have their starting quarterback. Alvin Kamara's not playing. Just a lot out. I mean, the Vikings haven't looked really good as well. Justin Jefferson hasn't really been going or anything like that. They don't have Dalvin Cook as well. I mean, is Dalvin Cook playing this game? I know he said he was expected to play last night, but I haven't even read the stats. I saw Alexander Madison got a touchdown, and that was about it.
Dalvin Cook is expected to play.
Okay, so if he is playing, then I'll not say that. But even though the Vikings haven't been looking really too good on offense lately, I mean, they had that game against the Eagles that didn't look too well, and then they had a pretty good game against I'm trying to think who they played last week. The Lions. There we go. They had that comeback win against the Lions that was pretty good. Kirk Cousins hasn't looked well, but I feel like this is a Vikings team that is better than the Saints, so I feel like they should win.
Absolutely. I agree. I'm going to go with you. I think that the Vikings. I'm not expecting anything huge out of them, but as far as this matchup goes, I think they're the better team out of the two. And like I said, it's 7-7 right now. You got any final score predictions?
I didn't know what the line was for the game, but obviously it's about to be halftime and it's 7-7, so it's not looking like it's a massively scoring game, but that could change. I would say 24-20 Vikings.
I'm gonna go 24-14.
Okay.
So while we were doing this, so I completely forgot there was a London game this week. So
yeah, so did I. Yep.
That's on me. My bad. And not a huge deal with this show. I mean, like we kind of make adjustments on the go. That's a part of driving down the field. You make adjustments to the game, right? However, my fantasy team is hurting for it, my friend.
Did you play Kamara?
I have Kamara in one of my leagues. And I have Michael Thomas in one of my leagues, and Michael Thomas is not playing. Yep.
Yeah, one of my leagues, I made sure to start Olave, and he got the only touchdown for the Saints so far, so that was pretty good.
Yeah. There's Alvin Kamara in another league that I left him in, and so. Yep. Fun, man. I have a humongous love-hate relationship with fantasy football. I love playing. I love, the interaction with my friends, family, whoever we're working with and all that good stuff. But man, it has cost me some money. So let's talk about this next game. So we've got Cleveland at Atlanta. The 2-1 Cleveland Browns against the 1-2 Atlanta Falcons.
This is an interesting game because, I mean, the Browns are like, I mean, probably should be maybe 3-0. That Jets game was kind of an outlier game for them. But also, this Falcons team is like a team that I feel also should be better. I mean, they had a close game against the Saints that they probably should have won. I'm not sure if that's really saying much, especially with how we've seen the Saints play as of late. They had their first.
Dylan?
Cordell Patterson is. Oh, we
Dylan,
good?
did you die?
It happened. It happened earlier. Like it like refreshes the whole thing because like I couldn't see you or me either.
Huh.
Huh.
Interesting. I haven't used StreamYard in a minute, so we're using StreamYard this morning. I usually use Restream, and I pay a lot of money for my Restream.
Hey, if that's what you want to use, I go ahead. I just use
No, no,
whatever
no, no, no,
sent.
no, no, no. Because the reason why is because I found out Restream doesn't mesh well with iPhones. So, every single time you've been on when we do the Sunday morning drive and I use my Restream, you're like in and out. Your audio doesn't match up.
Well, also I got like a new headset, so like that's what I was been trying for my audio as well too.
Well, a Restream told me it was people with iPhones. So it's
So-
Safari. Safari doesn't whatever their system is. Safari doesn't work well. So I was like, I'm about to cancel them, and I might be switching to Restream. I don't know yet. We haven't figured it out, but we're using StreamYard this morning. I mean, not Restream. So I'm happy about that, and you seem to be working a lot better, except for that refresh thing. Hopefully, that's just an internet thing. But break down that Cleveland Atlanta for me again.
Yeah, like I was saying, the Falcons are a team that like offensively looks good on paper. I mean, Cordell Patterson's been having a really good year. I mean, he just won NFC Offensive Player of the Month, I'm pretty sure, or of the week, one of the two. But besides, that's still really good for a Falcons team that we don't really expect much out of. They still have Drake London, who's looking really good. Kyle Pitts had a better game last week. I mean, he only bad back-to-back games of two receptions of 19 yards, and last week had 5 receptions of 89 yards. He didn't play he didn't play a lot of snaps in the second half, which was a little bit crazy, but to each their own. The Falcons got the win. I agree with Gene's comment. The Falcons upset the Browns. I think that's I don't even think that's really an upset in my eyes. I feel like Falcons, yeah, Hurts won the month. He might have won the week. So yeah, but I feel like the Falcons could win this game. I feel like they're better offensively. I feel like the Browns really have Nick Chubb. They haven't really gotten David and Njoku going. Their offensive weapons are a little bit. Amari Cooper's been hot and cold. He's been pretty good as of late, which is a good sign for the Browns, especially since they got him on the cheap, that he could be a good contributing target for him. But I feel like the Falcons could win, especially if Cordell Patterson plays.
That's what I was going to say. That was my key to victory for the Falcons is getting Cordell Patterson involved in. Getting involved in the run game, getting involved in the pass game, and I absolutely. I mean, like I'm kind of right there with you. I wouldn't even call it an upset. I don't think the Browns are a good team. I mean, I think they got good players, but I think overall the coaching staff, what they're doing, the organization. They're just not a good team to me. So you've got Deshaun Watson, who's not going to be available until week 11 or week 12.
Yeah, it's whenever they play Houston.
Exactly. And we don't know what Deshaun Watson's going to look like. The guy hasn't played in 2 years.
He didn't look too great in the preseason either.
So I mean, like I said, I'm not in on the Browns. I never have been. I never will be. I think the Browns would have to win a championship for me to be like, all right, I think they're for real.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same. I'm in the same boat with Cleveland. It's like you can show me all these great rosters you have, but until you win something with it and actually do something with it, like you're always still going to be the Browns. Like you're still going to be Cleveland. You're going to be that team that is a kind of a joke of a franchise until you can actually do something with your decisions.
Yep. Agreed. So I'm still sticking with Atlanta. Hey, you know what? We got our friend Martin Livewire Sports coming in hot this morning. Coming in
Yeah,
hot.
man, y'all killing the Browns already? Come on.
Yep, murdered them,
Good,
murdered them. But
good
wait,
grief.
hey, my friend Billy Joel said a long time ago, we didn't start the fire. So
Well,
it's
they've
not
been
it's not me and Dylan. We didn't do this. We
well,
didn't do this.
they've been on fire along with the Jets for a long, long time.
Yeah. Well, you
Just
know,
throwing some
uh,
gasoline onto it.
give us your prediction, Livewire. What you got?
For the Seattle Browns game,
No, Cleveland, Atlanta.
Cleveland. Oh yeah, Cleveland, Atlanta. Okay. Well, that's I mean, I think the Browns. Well, I know the situation with Miles Garrett
Hmm.
and everything. But I just think that if they continue to do what they're doing, rely on the running game with the two-headed monster, and allow Brissett just to do just enough, not really. And I still think they have enough on defense. I just don't. I trust Brissett more than I would trust Marcus Mariota. You know what I'm saying? Even though Atlanta has shown, I mean, they showed a lot against the Rams and everything, but I don't see, I don't see them. I see this game close, but I think the Browns will win this game just because they they have enough defense and they have enough on offense with running game that they can um, cruise to victory. I won't say cruise to victory, but get a victory over Atlanta.
All right. So Livewire's got Cleveland.
It's a fair
I don't hate it.
take. I feel like it's just a little tough for me to take Cleveland, especially with Miles Garrett. I forgot to even mention it, but I forgot Miles Garrett was out. Like he's just sitting out this game.
Yeah, but that'll give the opportunity for somebody else to step up. You know what I'm saying? So, but Chase, I mean, earlier when before I came in, you did make a good point about Cleveland, the coaching staff. If they could get that whole front office and coaching staff, I mean, if they could really get it right for change, Cleveland can elevate itself. You see some changes there, but they can't never get there. That year that they had a chance to beat Kansas City in the playoff game, and I mean they had Kansas City right where they wanted to, and they just folded. And I was like, that reminds me of so long ago where Ernest Byner, I think the running back that used to be with the Cleveland Browns back then, when they had that one, he fumbled right at the goal line and kind of like, kill their dreams of going any further. So hey, yeah, Cleveland does have they have a bad omen shadow over them more than my Washington Commanders. Whew, I feel happy about that.
So the next game we've got on the lineup, guys, is Buffalo and Baltimore. I'm going to start with Dylan again. We'll go to Livewire, and then I'll finish up with this game. Dylan, go ahead and start us off, man. Who you got in this game? Buffalo,
This is a
Baltimore.
tough one. This is a tough one. Buffalo coming off of a tough loss to Miami, a game that they maybe should have won. Ken Dorsey went crazy. If you guys didn't see that,
Oh yeah,
slamming his clipboards and everything. Against the Ravens team that has looked pretty good. The Patriots did give them a little bit of a run for their money. Lamar Jackson was rushed a lot, and they did get to Lamar Jackson a lot. A Patriots team that I didn't expect could do something like that to Lamar Jackson. So it's going to see this Buffalo team has a really good defense, and if they're able to get to Lamar Jackson as good as the Patriots did, that's going to be a little bit of a problem. I'm going to take Buffalo in this one just because I feel like this is an overall better team. I feel like this is a more put together team, and I feel like just got unlucky against Miami. Not to take anything away from Miami, they're a good team, but I feel like that's just a game that got away from Buffalo, and I feel like they're gonna come back stronger. They obviously showed that they're still the best team, and I even said it last week. Even with Buffalo losing, they're still the best team in the AFC. Like, don't take any credit away from them. I think Buffalo is going to be fine.
For me, this is really tough. This is really really tough because I like both quarterbacks. I like Josh and I like Lamar. Oh man, gosh, Lee. Um, is the safety for Buffalo coming back?
No, if we're talking about, I think Poyer. Oh, it's Poyer or Hyde, but one of them's
Yeah.
out for the season. I think it's Poyer, but he's out for the season.
Well, that's gonna be that's a key piece for their defense for Buffalo. Can Buffalo regroup from that Miami loss? That's the main thing. How they gonna respond? I know Ken Dorsey, my boy, he went bananas in that booth, man. But Lamar Jackson has been on a tear for the last 2 games, and I don't see him stopping. Even though the Patriots had a chance, they did some things to confuse him a little bit, but he's still putting up these guarding numbers. If he could put up the same kind of numbers, because Buffalo really they're gonna have to account for him a lot, and that's probably going to free up other guys around to be a little bit more open. The things that Miami was able to do with against Buffalo is going to play into Baltimore's hand a little bit, because Lamar is a very dynamic quarterback. He don't have to sit in the pocket. You're going to have to count for him throwing and passing. So this is going to be a little tough challenge for Buffalo. And man, gosh, do I got to pick this game? Do I really got to pick this game? All right. I like both quarterbacks. I'm just going to I'm going to pick Lamar just because of what he has been doing. I do want to see how Buffalo handles a loss coming back, but I'm going to give a close game to Baltimore.
All right, cool. I'll tell you what, guys. We got a celebrity guest joining us this morning. We got Raw Mind Sports.
I'm about to say. He ain't even ready. Look at him. He's still getting ready. I know.
I was gonna bring Mr. Senior on, Mr. Ryan Jones Senior. I was gonna bring him in and let him give his prediction on this game. I told the boys, Mr. Senior, I said, man, I got a celebrity guest for y'all.
I was thinking it was Patrick Mahomes or somebody. I was like, whoa.
We got better than Patrick Mahomes.
I know, right? What's up,
man,
Ryan?
How you guys doing today, man? It's a great day of football. My guys don't play till Monday night, but hey, it is what it is. We gonna take it from there. But what's the game here? And I apologize for the
No, you're good. It's the Buffalo and Baltimore. We're doing predictions on
this. Two teams who found a way to lose to the Miami Dolphins. Let me see where I'm gonna go at right here. Now I haven't for the record, people. I haven't looked at the week's picks. So where is this at home? So I apologize about that. Raw thoughts right now.
This is in Baltimore.
In Baltimore, elusive game. For me, honestly, Lamar Jackson is going to be phenomenal. He's going to put up some good numbers in M&T base for fantasy viewers, for fantasy guys who got him, start him. But the Buffalo Bills defense will find a way to make that good stop at the right time. So I'm going to have Buffalo in a close one.
I like it. I like both of these teams. Obviously, as you all know, I'm a little biased. And I don't even think it's biased. I don't think it's a discussion. I think hands down, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL, playing right now. However, I think when you talk about elite quarterbacks, you gotta talk about Josh Allen, and I think Josh Allen is right there neck to neck with Mahomes, well over Herbert. I think Herbert's good, but Allen is a far step ahead of Herbert. The only person I would put even anywhere near that pedestal with Patrick would be Lamar. Pay that man. He deserves the money. Write the check. Stop messing with him. Stop playing with him, because it is what it is. Now, because of that situation, I'm going Lamar and the Baltimore Ravens. Like I said, I think let's go back a couple weeks. They lost that game to Miami because the defense let up. And Miami proved that when all their pieces are together, they're for real. So Lamar Jackson did not lose that game to Miami. The Baltimore Ravens lost that game to Miami. So I think Lamar Jackson's coming out to show everybody like, what's up? Like, I want this. Pay me, sign me my check, run me my money. And so I'm going Lamar. I do think it's a close one. There is some injuries on here. One of which is Mitch Morse. I'm a huge Mitch Morse guy. He played for the Missouri Tigers. He also got drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs. I was super upset when the Chiefs let him go. He's the center in Buffalo. Xavier Woods is also out on defense. I know that hasn't been a question for a while, but those are two key pieces for them. They got some doubtful injuries over in Baltimore. Justin Houston's one of them. I think they'll be fine without Justin Houston. So, but like I said, I'm going Baltimore in this game.
I like that because what you said was like correct. It was Baltimore's that lost the game, but I think what I'm going with Buffalo is that Buffalo's offense got to go against the Ravens defense, and it could be another tricky one. If it is, I repeat, if it is in Lamar Jackson's hands, final possession of the game, then Baltimore can slip away with a victory. But if it's the defense, we're banking the check on against a very good Buffalo Bills offense, then we have another problem. That's why it was so easy to slide away. So when I look at these two teams play, I look at them as like who plays both sides of the football. Buffalo's defense pretty good. Offensively, that is good. But don't get it twisted. Right now, the MVP of the league may be raw thoughts Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has done his numbers are absolutely record-breaking almost right now.
Yeah.
Within 4 games or 3 games going into week 4, his numbers are there. So if the Baltimore Ravens don't pay him, somebody's going to pay him.
Oh yeah,
and he's going to get what he wants.
Yeah,
whether he has representation
I'll
or
take
not.
it. Seattle needs a quarterback. We'll pay him.
He could.
Oh yeah, you will.
Hey, he could come down there and take Carson Wentz's spot. I'll be more than happy to have Lamar Jackson with all the weapons we have over there.
Speaking of Carson Wentz, guys.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, speaking of Carson Wentz, we've got the Washington Commanders against the Dallas Cowboys as our next game.
Man,
I'm gonna let Livewire. We're gonna start with you this time, and then we're gonna go up, over, and down. So we'll start with you, Dylan, myself, and then Raw Mind last.
All right. Well, I've been doing this all week, having these little discussions and everything, and I forgot the guy I was talking to on his live. I'm looking for a bounce back game for these guys. But with the for what I've seen from the Philadelphia Eagles, they got 9 sacks on Carson Wentz. The whole offense the play calling and Carson Wentz has to be better. He can't hold on to the ball like he does. He holds the ball too long. They gotta have better pass protection coverage. Even if you had to use an extra tight end, John Bates is that extra tight end because we have 4 on roster that we could use in the passing game. We don't have to use John Bates as a damn passer. Don't know why. That's like just having Cameron Brate as your, somebody slow that you got fast tight ends there. Use the one that could be an extra blocker. Bill Belichick used to do it in New England all the time. They had an extra tight end they used as mass blocker, especially when pass rush was getting to Tom Brady a lot. That's what you got to do. Now, you're going against a Dallas defense that's number 1 in the league in sacks, 15 sacks on the book. That's we gave up half of that. We can't go into that game giving up another 9. If we give up another 9 and Michael Parsons has 3 or 4 sacks in that game, we automatically gonna lose that game. Cooper Rush looked good, because they playing more balance, with the run game and passing. Now, whether Michael Gallup plays this game or not, Washington defense has to be a little bit better. Now, give it a credit. The game was kind of like out of hand with Philly a little bit. You know, it was 24-5 or something like that. 24-9.
24 to 8. It was
Yeah,
24 to 8.
Yeah. So that if St. Jude's plays that other corner spot, that could be very, very helpful to them. That'll make them now. Dalton Schultz is supposed to be back for the Cowboys today. So that's going to be another weapon that Washington's going to have to deal with, because if you try to take CeeDee Lamb away, Dalton Schultz is very capable of stretching the field in the middle, and that's what we have trouble with. So how Washington handles all of that with the pass rush and the back end of the defense is going to be a mystery. I told myself I was not going to pick them, but it's Dallas Cowboys, and I'm not picking the Cowboys to beat my Washington Commanders. That is not about to damn happen. So
I hope not. I would. I'd have to replace you. I mean, if the Chiefs were 0-12 and they were playing an undefeated team, I'm still picking the Chiefs all day long. So if you came in here and you picked the Cowboys, especially a division rival, if you picked a division rival over the Commanders, I'd have to say you got to go. You got to go.
So with that being said, and great news too, Brian Robinson is about to be activated this week. So that is going to serve a plus. Now, I don't know how much snaps he's going to get if he does play next week, or they just keep him active and then bring him against the Chicago game. Whatever the situation is, that's going to help out the offense and the running game a little bit more, because you don't want Antonio Gibson handling the ball. Now, to Washington's credit, Antonio Gibson has sliced up the Cowboys in the past. So I think the Cowboys probably going to be ready for that, but I don't think they're going to be ready for our overall offense. That's the trick. That's why I say Scott Turner has to get Carson Wentz in a rhythm and hit the ball out of his hands quicker to neutralize Parsons in that group. Because if they can do that and get some plays down the field, then it could loosen up for a lot of things in the running game. So I'm going with Washington by 3. I think they go down there, they regroup, they handle business, and they pick up a significant win in the division, which they really, really need. Because they can't be 1-3 right now. Can't be.
Absolutely.
Man, it's just with this game, you're asking for a lot of things. You're asking for like the first main thing. Carson wants to play smart. That's a
Dylan died again.
The refresh thing again. But like I was saying, you're asking Carson Wentz to do one big thing: play smart.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big thing to do for Carson Wentz, a quarterback who I see always just has the goofiest looking plays, and it's just always like, how did he do that? Like, how'd this happen? And with that, he was sacked 9 times last week. You said it best yourself. He's going up against the number one defense when it comes to sacks, plus Micah Parsons. I mean, you're asking for a lot out of this team. Plus, when you look at it, they're getting Michael Gallup back. They're getting Dalton Schultz back. They're getting more offensive targets to make Cooper Rush feel more comfortable in this offense. They're giving him more security blankets. They're giving him more better weapons to work with this offense. Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott have been good as a 1-2 back combo. Even though a lot of people would probably say Pollard should get that lead back role, they're still doing good as a spearhead as a 1 and 2. And I feel like this is a game the Cowboys should win. I feel like they got lucky. A lot of us counted them out once we saw Dak Prescott's injury, and Cooper Rush came into the system and taken over. And now the Cowboys are 2-1 with a chance of being 3-1. And Dak Prescott is not even back yet.
I see a major quarterback controversy in Dallas. I ain't gonna lie, because if Cooper Rush keeps playing the way he's playing, they could keep Dak out a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. I mean, like, if they look at it and they're like, maybe Dak needs about 1-2 more weeks to recover. We could play rush and feel comfortable with it. I don't feel like I don't feel like there's going to be any controversy towards the end of the season whether they're going to play Prescott or Rush. I feel like this is still Prescott's team, without a doubt. He's still going to be the quarterback there when it comes to this offseason, not unless they want some drastic changes. But yeah, I mean, Rush has stepped into this system and played well. If they need Dak Prescott to be out for another week or so, they definitely have that flexibility.
Man, I'm trying not to. I got the game on my TV, and anyways,
multitask at its finest.
Well, no, it's. I'm trying not to. There's a reflection of it, and I'm trying not to get kicked off.
Okay.
So this game between the Cowboys and the Commanders, I'm right with Dylan. The offense has meshed well together and looked better as a cohesive unit under Cooper Rush. Now, I don't know what that reason. I'm not going to put that reason on Dak, because to say that Cooper Rush is anywhere near the caliber that Dak Prescott is goofy, and I ain't gonna stand for it. We ain't gonna talk about that. We ain't gonna not. Dak is a good quarterback. Yeah. The Cowboys, what the Cowboys have done with Dak has been Dak's issues. So, and Dak can't stay healthy. Just because he can't stay healthy doesn't mean he isn't good. Don't compare Dak's talent to Cooper Rush's talent. That's not even a question. So, I don't think there will be a quarterback controversy. I think the Cowboys could look at moving forward from Dak Prescott because of the fact that he is injury prone. Mm-hmm. But that is still Dak Prescott's team. It is still Dak Prescott's Cowboys. But they have looked better as a cohesive unit since Cooper Rush has came in. I don't know if they changed the game plan because Cooper Rush is a different style than Dak Prescott. But for those reasons, I will take the Cowboys over the Commanders. I think the Cowboys defense will carry them through this match. And I think Cooper will do exactly what Cooper has done since he stepped in, and that is do enough to get them to win on this game. So I'm sticking with the Cowboys. What you got for us, Raw Mind?
Yeah, Raw Mind. I got Cowboys. It ain't even close. Honestly, raw thoughts here. The Cowboys. I heard you say something a few minutes ago, live wire, about Lamar Jackson being in Washington. Washington got me and a multitude of me on the offensive line. You ain't got nobody who can block. So the only reason you want Lamar Jackson is because his athletic ability. The biggest issue, even though I know people talk about Carson Wentz, the real issue is the offensive line. You went against a team that got 9 sacks last week. You got another Dallas Cowboys football team that's coming in putting just the same amount of pressure. I don't know what Dan Quinn done, but the pass rush is there. You're into another situation where the pass rush will be hitting the entire game. Cooper Rush, play calling is much different because they're not expecting him to throw them to victory. They're doing something what I thought the Dallas Cowboys should have been doing in the first place. They should have been running the ball with Pollard and Ezekiel coming off the play action, allowing Dak to really find these open receivers, because you don't have nobody box office and nobody big time or nobody that's going to lead you to victory in the receiving core. They say CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is box office for what they say, but he has his moments where he'll drop passes. The next minute he'll come back and catch a big one. So he has a little inconsistency there at the number one receiver, even though he didn't make a few plays. You don't have anything. Yes, you lost Amari Cooper. Some of your best receivers are the 2 running backs, Ezekiel Elliott and Pollard. So what I'm saying is you need to run the ball, establish the run. The Cowboys should establish the run, then go into the play action, and then go into the passing game. But throwing their way to victory, it's going to be a little different this year. But I do feel like they have enough to beat the Commanders right now as we speak. Unless the offensive line gets it together, the Commanders will have a number 5 pick in the 2023 draft. And let me say that again. With the number 5 pick in the 2023 draft, the Washington Commanders select an offensive lineman, because that's what you need. Raw thoughts.
Touche.
All right, so we got this next game, Seattle and Detroit. I'm gonna let Dylan start this one off, and then we'll go down and we'll go down the live wire over to Raw Mind, and then end with me. What do you got for us, Dylan?
So this is an interesting game on paper. I mean, if you look at the injury report for Detroit, there's going to be no DeAndre Swift or Amon-Ra St. Brown playing. So that's pretty good for a Seattle team that is very bad on defense. I believe we're the second. We're like the fourth and like ninth worst in when it comes to a passing and rushing defense. Well, rushing and passing defense, fourth worst in rushing. Yeah, this is a Seattle team that's had that win against Denver, and then from then has had a bad game against the 49ers, had a bad game against the Falcons. They played good offensively, but they still got carved up by that Falcons offense. I'm not sure if Detroit's going to be better. I mean, Jamal Williams is going to kind of have this lead back role, and he's actually, I looked up Jamal Williams' stats before like coming into this. He's 13th in carries, 21st in yards, and I'm not sure if you guys knew this.
Oh,
so like
this thing refresh.
Oh, I'm here. Okay, sorry,
No,
I was
good,
saying, but like Jamal Williams is tied first for rushing touchdown.
That probably mean that he gets the ball close to in the red zone a lot. Dylan froze. Ryan's disappeared.
Why we wait for Dylan? Oh, there he is. There he is.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
It's just looking at my internet, it says it's fine. I don't know why it's messing up. But like I was saying, yeah, he's first in rushing touchdowns and 21st in yards. But also with that being said, he's 13th in carries. So even before that, he's still getting this ball a lot. This Detroit team likes running the ball, and he's getting that. I don't feel like this Detroit team is really going to struggle so much more on the rushing end as they will on the passing end. I feel like losing someone like Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's just lighting it up this season. He's playing like he's a top receiver in the league right now, and it's showing. Jared Goff has been good, but this is a Seattle team who doesn't really even have an identity on offense. They're supposed to be this big rushing team. They're one of the worst rushing teams when it comes to passing. They're not really passing to their targets as well. It's just not really great offensively for Seattle. I feel like they're going to keep it close in this game. I don't like picking against my team, but also at the same time, you got to be a little bit realistic. I feel like the Lions will get it done. Seattle just hasn't shown anything to me, even as like a fan. I watch all their games, like that they can come in and feel confident in winning this game. We don't have an identity on offense. We got rid of Russell Wilson to go to this more rushing attack offense, and we're averaging 72 yards a game rushing. I mean, Rashad Penny hasn't really been looking too great. Kenneth Walker's only gotten 7 carries. I mean, I was telling you Jamal Williams' stats. We have no rushing touchdowns on the year. Rashad Penny only has 141 yards. So even as a backup running back, Jamal Williams is out rushing whatever Seattle's doing. So I'm going to have to go with Detroit on this game until Seattle can just show more. But with that being said, people say they look like one of the worst teams in the league, and it's showing right now.
What you got, Martin?
Well, Dylan pretty much, nailed it. All them first round draft picks, that compensation they got for Russell Wilson. So maybe they in the draft this year they'll be able to do some things. They had that one, I guess you could say, lucky game against Denver. They very Seattle is very unbalanced, and for them to have a running game and then put the ball in Geno Smith's hand to throw down the field to Lockett and DK Metcalf, that's not Geno Smith's game. Detroit, I mean, they have been very impressive for the first couple of games of the season against us, against Philly. And therefore, it's no brainer for me. I mean, even though they don't have DeAndre Swift, but they still have enough to beat Seattle. And Jared Goff, he has looked pretty decent. I won't say great, but he's looked pretty decent. So I'm gonna go with Detroit on this one. I just don't see Seattle beating Detroit, and I don't see Detroit allowing themselves to be snuck by Seattle.
Detroit Lions in this one. Seattle's been playing Man, right now I think this is getting ready for next season. They gonna close game. Detroit Lions gonna have close games where they're gonna lose. Now it's the battle of the losers, raw thoughts. So the guys who always find a way to lose a game. These guys right here are definitely that right now since week 4. Um, Detroit looking better and better. Hard Knocks has probably showed us that Detroit is a lot better than what they show. Not saying that they have been playing good football, but we know at the end, it always comes with the most important thing to the game of football, and that's winning and losing games. And the Detroit Lions always find a way to lose a game, or they always losing a game. And I know it could be distraughtful for them, but this is a game that's a winnable game that Detroit Lions should win. So I got Detroit winning, but anything is possible with Seattle right now, and Detroit Lions are playing. Raw thoughts.
Yeah, I want to go with Detroit, but I mean I feel bad because all 3 of y'all went Detroit. So I think just to be different, just to go against the curve, I'm gonna go Seattle. Just to be different. Just to be different. We get this next game, Tennessee and Indianapolis.
Huh.
We'll start with Dylan, go around, in with myself. Who you got, Dylan?
I'm taking Tennessee. I feel like they showed just spurts of them being a way better team. Derrick Henry looked a little bit better. This Colts team, Matt Ryan has been I mean, Jonathan Taylor hasn't been playing pretty well. He's missed like his first practices and stuff like that. This is just a team that hasn't worked really well. They need more offensive help. They need more receiver help. They just don't really have anyone. I mean, of course, outside of Michael Pittman, but like, I'm not even sure if Michael Pittman is truly a number 1 for that team, or if he could be a number 2 and they need someone better. They just need someone to run with him. Teams are going to get to the point where they're just going to cover Michael Pittman because the Colts have nothing else. I feel like the Titans are going to win this game. They looked better last week. Maybe a game they probably should have lost. That should have been the Raiders win, but overall they still won the game. I feel like there's nothing simple. I feel like Derrick Henry is going to slowly have a better game. I feel like he's just going to slowly start to rumble and get close to another breakout big game. I feel like the Titans win closer than people might expect, but I feel like the Titans will win this game.
Oh man, I still just cannot believe how Kansas City allowed the Colts to beat them.
Hey,
I don't.
We're on to Sunday. We're on to Sunday. Come on now.
I know, I know, but the Colts don't have anybody. Matt Ryan is really a shell of himself. I mean, they went from Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, now Matt Ryan. And I think Tennessee with Derrick Henry, they definitely has enough to beat Indianapolis. I don't know, man. Sometimes strange things happen in the NFL that we really don't expect to happen, but it happens anyway. But I'm just not gonna pick. I'm not picking the Colts. Never liked the Colts, even back in the day when Peyton Manning was there. Even when Jim Harbaugh was playing back there, I don't like the Colts. So I'm picking Tennessee. I just think that Tennessee has to get back to the basics of running the ball, not letting Tannehill throw them the victory because he can't do it. So I'm picking Tennessee probably in a little close game. I think this game will be just close, but I think Tennessee just have enough to pull away in a victory.
All right, for me, this is just for this game right here. I just trust Matt Ryan over Ryan Tannehill. They beat a good Kansas City team. This is the battle of the division, even though Jacksonville is playing great right now. I was predicting that the Colts or the Tennessee Titans would win this AFC South division. But for me, it's just like certain teams, man. It takes repetition. It takes team cohesiveness. I just feel like the Colts will get it together eventually. Not because of their core, not because of the players around them, but I just believe Matt Ryan has enough experience to get it done. He hasn't been playing that well, but I think that comes from chemistry, being in Atlanta for forever, running a system that Atlanta runs. I think Frank Wright is trying to incorporate his system that he tried to run. He ran a lot in Atlanta because he had so many different coordinators in Atlanta, which is something ironic, which makes, Matt Ryan's situation, I like to give him a pass sometimes. You had too many different coordinators with different things, from Kyle Shanahan to Steve Sarkisian, now to Frank Wright to whoever the other person was for years. I'm just not afraid of Tennessee. Tennessee doesn't have nothing game changer. If it comes down to one play in the fourth quarter possession of time, do I trust Ryan Tannehill or do I trust Matt Ryan? A lot of people probably say right now neither, but we're just talking about this game, the Titans versus, the Colts. I just think Matt Ryan can make better plays than Ryan Tannehill. Both teams have good running backs, Jonathan Taylor, and then you have King Henry. So that's just like pretty much by default. Now it comes down to quarterback play. Quarterback play. Matt Ryan has no pressure. Ryan Tannehill has pressure. He got Willis right behind his shoulder, tapping on his shoulder each and every week.
Mhm.
You're looking for production. They have a defensive-minded coach, but their offense just hasn't been getting there. They won a good game last week against the Raiders, but Raiders defense is god awful too. So just being raw thoughts. And that's why I said at first when people predicted them to be in the Super Bowl, that was a bunch of gibberish. I just didn't never see it because they can't stop nobody. Yet Devontae Adams is going to have world-breaking numbers. We'll probably have a first-round exit if they get a wild card in playoffs with the Las Vegas Raiders. With that being said, I'm going with the Colts. I think the Colts should be able to win this game just off of enough pieces they have on defense and what they have on offense. Now to Chase.
Yeah, no. So when I look at this game, what I see is a battle of the run. It's going to be a run. It's going to be a run-heavy game, or it should be. So I don't know what the Colts are trying to do this year, but like we realize that Jonathan Taylor was in contention for an MVP. And you still got him in the backfield. Why are we talking about Matt Ryan? Matt Ryan should be mashed potatoes and gravy. The turkey is Jonathan Taylor.
Right.
Okay, Matt Ryan is mashed potatoes and gravy, and that's giving Matt Ryan credit. He's good, but in Indianapolis, your star is Jonathan Taylor, and they have not emphasized on him this year, and I think that's goofy. Go back
Crazy
to
how that works, right?
Let's go back to that game last week. Let's make one thing clear, gentlemen. The Indianapolis Colts did not beat the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay. Stupid penalties. And we'll talk about this later when we get to the Chiefs and the Tampa Bay game. The Patrick Mahomes and Eric Bieniemy are not on the same page. As much as Andy Reid wants to tell Kansas City that Eric Bieniemy and Patrick Mahomes are on the same page, they ain't. That's just all there is to it. We know what Patrick Mahomes can do. And there is games that we have seen, the Cincinnati AFC Championship game, and a couple of other games where we have seen that Patrick Mahomes didn't look like Patrick Mahomes. And you can't explain it to me how one year he goes and plays like Patrick Mahomes every single game, and then now for whatever reason it's flip-flopping. I think there's a battle of minds there with the offense and how the offense should be ran. Anyways, with this game, if Tennessee runs the ball, they'll win the game. If Indianapolis runs the ball, they'll win the game. That's my prediction, gentlemen.
Hey, I mean that's a fair prediction because they both can run the ball. So and depends on who run the ball effectively.
All right. So this next match is your piss break of the week. Chicago Bears and the New York Giants. Dylan, what you got?
Man, the Giants lost Sterling Shepard to a ACL tear on a non-contact injury that was kind of wild to see. And then the Bears are playing without David Montgomery. Man, I'm gonna go the Bears on this one. I feel like the Bears are 2-1 right now. They're obviously finding ways to win. They had that weird game against San Francisco in week 1. then lose a massive game to the Packers, and then they won on the road. They won last week. So this Bears team is finding a way to win. Justin Fields is looking like the worst quarterback in the NFL. Not passing a lot. Just not a great offensive display, but they're still winning. I feel like this Bears team is going to figure out a way to do it again. I feel like this Giants team has a little bit less when it comes to offensive weapons. Well, I mean, both of them just bad offensive weapons wise. I mean, it's literally Saquon on the Giants, and then, I mean, Darnell Mooney for the Bears, but you don't throw to Darnell Mooney, so it doesn't matter. It's just this like of the week. Man, this is going to be an interesting game. Whose offense is going to prevail? I don't know. I would probably just say the Bears because they're 2-1 is my guess.
Wow. Oh man. I really don't care about this game too much. But I like Justin Fields. I think they just not using him correctly. They're not building around him. I mean, you draft him, got rid of Mr. Trubisky, and you just don't build around a guy that can be very dynamic. They have one of plays solid here and there. For the Giants, it's either give the ball to Saquon and that's it. They're gonna have to find a way to throw the ball, but you don't want Daniel Jones throwing the ball a lot because you've seen it in the Dallas game. They should have had won that game against Dallas, and they had it. Saquon run for 30, had a 36-yard run for a touchdown, and you don't give him the ball, you got to give your top star the ball. So between this game, I think it relies on, I think Giants could win this game, but I'm not picking them to win this game. I'm picking Chicago to win this game just because I want to see Justin Fields. I want to see them play a little bit more. I want to see some different things from them. But Giants always gonna undo themselves, until they get rid of Daniel Jones from the quarterback.
Oh, is it my turn? Raw thoughts?
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, raw thoughts, man. I got the Giants winning, and this is a situation where I usually don't. This is another bad matchup of two teams, but at early in the season, I think Dable has his team playing. So this is the good thing and the bad thing. This is why I call raw thoughts. Put up or shut up. Galladay, you dropped a lot of passes. Galladay, Sterling Shepard is out. Galladay, you have an opportunity to prove yourself. Galladay, you've been whining for the past 3 weeks about why you ain't getting no reps, why you don't want to be traded. Now you have the most perfect opportunity to put up or shut up because now you're actually put into the lineup. You're going to be in more offensive plays. You're going to be out there in a lot of different formations. So we don't want to hear that. You got paid pretty good, buddy, to be dropping. Hell, they could have gave me that money. And I could have been dropping those passes where you've been dropping. You over here, boo-boo-boo, whining and crying. About you not getting on the field. I ain't getting on the field, but you dropping passes when you on the field. Danny Dimes already ain't as great. He's not as great, but Danny Dimes threw you a couple of dimes and you dropped them and you turned them into pennies. Raw thoughts there. So I mean, now you have your time. You're not probably gonna get traded now because you're both in a situation where you want to go, but they can't let you go now because they paid you. Now you get a chance to play because Shepard is out. So now's the time to put up a shut up. The Bears are what I think they are. They got a fluke game, luckily, in a monsoon against San Francisco early in the year, which San Francisco should be 2-1. By the way, something like Chase said, I'll talk about them when it's time to get there. But raw thoughts here. At the end of the day, the Giants should win this game. Pretty good on defense. They got a strong running game. Dable's got them rolling. Galladay, this is your time to show what you got. Could you either put up or shut up? Can you be valuable in trade? Nobody's not going to take you if you out here dropping dimes like you've been dropping lately and I want to trade. No, you don't know. You need to figure out how to catch the ball first before you can get that type of how should I put it? How should I put the word up? Before you start giving out raw thoughts, I didn't forgot the word. Before you start giving out mandates, you ain't ain't got no room to give no mandates right now. You just need to figure out how you gonna catch the ball. Let's start at stage one. Stage one is learning how to catch the football. I'm not even a Giants fan. My daddy is. But at the same time, I'm all about football and love football. You can't be out here talking, got a big contract, and out here dropping everything. You out here like the corn machine in a vending machine when the change ain't no good and go, it comes right back out. It comes back out. You know what? Now you're in a perfect situation. This is what I'm looking at in this game. Giants versus Detroit, not Giants versus Chicago. I'm looking at you, Galladay. Not nothing else, because Danny Dimes is what he is. He's what he is. I'm looking at you. Because you've been talking a lot of junk lately and mad because nobody playing you. Now I'm pretty sure they've been talking to you the whole week. You got your chance now, buddy. So put up or shut up. Raw thoughts. I'm going with the Giants.
And you heard it first from Stephen A. Smith.
I like it. I like it. I'm going to go with the Giants as well. I like Justin Fields. I think, not to get too much into this, we can get into this on another show. But for the Sunday morning show, I'm just going to say this. There are teams that will look at quarterbacks like Kyler Murray, like Justin Fields, like, all those cats, all those young athletic quarterbacks in college that look great, Heisman finalists, Heisman winners. They'll look at them and they'll go, hey, I think we need to bring them into the pros and do something with them. Accentuate the positives, hide the negatives. And Chicago doesn't know what to do with a talent like Justin Fields. Chicago has no idea. They looked at him and they go, man, that's a talented young man. We want him on our team. Okay, now you got him on your team. Now what are you going to do with him? Because you can't mold him. He's a talented doing what he's doing. You need to let him do what he wants to do or what he is capable of doing. Teach him. That's what you're supposed to do. But these teams, man, these front offices, they look at somebody and they're like, oh, we want him on our team. He's a talented young man, and we're going to bring him in here, and hopefully we'll win games. Well, you ain't going to win games if you bring somebody in and you don't know what to do with them. So you can buy the tool, but if you don't know how to use it, it's going to sit there in the garage and get rusted. And then eventually it's going to end up in the garage sale with a $2 price tag on it after you spent $500 on it. So that's how I feel about Chicago. That's how I feel about Justin Fields.
It doesn't help. I was about to say it doesn't help that they have a whole new regime in there now. Like the people in Chicago aren't the people that really drafted Justin Fields, Yeah. So it's it doesn't help that they look at Justin Fields and he's not playing super great or passing super great, and they're like, man, we didn't even get this guy. Do we have to keep him? So it doesn't really help out that it doesn't show that the franchise is even having any faith in him. They're not giving him anything to work with.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And so with the Giants, I feel the same way with the Giants with Daniel Jones. I don't think Daniel Jones is an elite quarterback, but I don't think he's shitty. I think he's good. And I think he's somebody. I think he's a young cat you could build a team around. And Saquon Barkley is playing good football right now. And I'm gonna back up Raw Mind and say Kenny Galladay's got to step up today. That team's got to show that they're ready to go. So, and this is gonna be a good morale win for them. The Giants beating the Bears. So I'm going with the Giants.
All right, I'm good to go now, guys. I apologize for the in and out. I got my chair back up here.
Gentlemen, I'm going to I'm gonna let you say something real quick, Livewire. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bounce. I gotta work here in about 15 minutes. So I'm gonna let you all take over. Do you guys need the list of games or?
Oh yeah, definitely. We'll rock and roll for that. We'll make this pretty quick for the viewers. Cause I know we said an hour, but we're going to make the viewers. So viewers, we'll give you a chance to go get your coffee, go get your wings, your barbecue, whatever you got to watch for your games. We'll make sure you get football ready. So we're not going to be so long here, but that should be about it. And Chase, you go ahead and handle your business. And with that being said, Raw Mind is taking over the Sunday morning drive as the moderator. So get ready, get locked and loaded for just a few minutes of raw thoughts. All right, so what's the next game? We'll go from there.
Well, Livewire has something to say about this Chicago game again.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to touch on something because Dylan, he said it perfectly that the organization, the new regime didn't draft Justin Fields, And I just feel like anytime a change like that happens in the organization, it's kind of like setting that other guy up to fail. And whether how Chicago's schedule plays out or they winning record, you gonna know that they're going to be in the market for a quarterback. To me, if I was the Giants, and I know that Chicago will be in the market for a quarterback this offseason, I will find a way to trade for Justin Fields and to the Giants and match him up with Barkley. And I think that because with Brian Dable over there, he is an offensive coordinator and he worked with Josh Allen over there. That will be a perfect scenario for him to flourish and open up his potential. And you still have a great, a really good running back over there. So that's my take on that.
All right, next game is Jacksonville and Philadelphia.
Woohoo!
All right, here we go, people. Here we go.
So I have to. Man, I picked Jacksonville. I have to on an earlier podcast. This was my upset pick of the week, so I got to stay truthful to it. So I'm going to stick with Jacksonville. Jacksonville's look good. I mean, I said this on the start of our season that Jacksonville could be this team that could win 7-8 games, and they're looking better than 7-8 games. They're looking like they could take their division. Trevor Lawrence. I mean, man. He's definitely having a bigger breakout year. Doug Peterson has been absolutely magic for him. Like, this is a good combination. I mean, Doug Peterson has been known as this quarterback coach that, I mean, man, he coached Carson Wentz up to look good. So, like, he's definitely doing work on Trevor Lawrence. Christian Kirk, we gave him a lot of flack for that contract he had. So he's playing good. Zay Jones, we gave him a lot of flack for that contract that he had. He's playing good. So it seems like this is a team that is – we've questioned all their decisions, but look at them now. They beat the Chargers, a team that was on top of the division, a team that people were saying were going to the Super Bowl. Granted, that might be because there was an injured Justin Herbert, no Keenan Allen. But with that being said, they still beat them by like 30-something points. That says a lot. This is a Jaguars team that I think is still hungry and still wants to show people that they can eat, and they're gonna come out and shock people today. They're gonna be 4-1, and then we're gonna have to look at the Jaguars and be like, oh wow, it's gonna be kind of another Bengals situation where they just kind of come out of nowhere, and we're like, this team's actually pretty decent. Now, will they have a slowdown? Maybe, but for now, I think the Jacksonville gets the upset.
Me personally, I want to see the Eagles take an L on this one. Doug Peterson against his former team, who knows that team very, very well. He does have Jacksonville going in the right direction. Jacksonville is number 1 in the league against the rush. They're holding opponents to 55 yards rushing the ball right now. And Philly don't run the ball effectively unless Jalen Hurts runs the ball. That opens up everything else for everybody else. Jacksonville played us tough. I mean, in all honesty, we should have lost that game to Jacksonville when we was up 14 and I think 6 on them, and they came back and took the lead. I mean, they could have been undefeated, but Jacksonville, their defense is starting to come together. They playing a little bit tougher. They great, like I said, they great against the run, and Philly doesn't run the ball well. Now it depends on what Jalen Hurts is going to do. Is he going to get to the ball to his 2 playmakers or wide receiver? That's probably going to be that's going to be the matchup right there with AJ Brown and Smith out there. So that's going to be probably that matchup is probably going to be something that I'll watch how Jacksonville handles that a little bit against Philadelphia. Now, Philadelphia did sack Washington Commanders team 9 times. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is going to hold the ball like Carson Wentz. I think he's going to get the ball out quicker. He's going to make that Philadelphia defense a little bit honest. This game could be very, very close because if you think about it, Detroit should have had Philadelphia also. So Philadelphia record is, I won't say misleading. They won the games that they still won, but if you think about it, it could have been switched around a little bit. So Just for Doug Peterson, since he was the coach that he knows the team well, I'm going with Jacksonville in a really, really close game against Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia takes an L. I think this would be the first upset of the season. And that I think Trevor Lawrence and that Jacksonville team will have a really good showing against the Philadelphia Eagles this game.
Is this game in Philly, correct?
Yeah.
This is homecoming for Doug Peterson. This game will be very, very personal. He got fired. Things won't go on right, but he did do something for Philly they never seen or had before, and that's win a Super Bowl. This game gonna be close, very, 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 very close. I feel like this team is gonna be personal. I think he has these guys going the right direction in Jacksonville, but man, Philly's defense is top 5, top 6. They in Philly. That crowd's gonna be extremely loud. Doug Peterson knows that already. I just don't see Philly losing to Jacksonville. Jacksonville has been amazing. Jacksonville, I know you guys say upset, but if Jacksonville does beat Philly, look out, AFC South. Look out. And I'm saying that early. I know we don't want to predict division winners early, but if they beat Philadelphia today, raw thoughts, I feel like Doug Peterson might be coach of the year.
Yeah.
And not only that, he's really coached his way to wins better than, in the AFC South, better than Vrabel, Frank Wright, and I'm not even counting Houston. So he's outcoached these guys too as well.
Yeah.
So I think they have the better coach in division right now as we speak. Doug Peterson, Super Bowl winning champion. Vrabel won as a player, but he hasn't been there. And Frank Wright has been around good football, being a backup to Jim Kelly in Buffalo, and playing a few. But at the same time, I think, if he wins this game, we need to start putting Doug Peterson as coach of the year right away. And that's just raw thoughts on that end. But I feel like Philly, city of brotherly love, this energy that's gonna be in that building today, it's gonna be different. But we're gonna see some good football. This is a game I would like to see. Out of all the games, it's quite a few games I want to see. But this is the one game I'm going to say, hey, look, I'm going to sit down and watch. Jacksonville versus Philly is going to be a game to watch. Must see TV at the moment.
Yeah.
And this game, if y'all have anything else, the New York Jets and the Pittsburgh Steelers. But yeah, go ahead, Dylan. Go ahead.
So the thing with this Jets Steelers game, Zach Wilson's back. Zach Wilson's projected to be in this game. He's projected to play. So the Steelers. I'm going the Steelers. I do not believe in Zach Wilson. He has not shown me anything different. I mean, there's been members of his team pretty much saying that Joe Flacco is a more quarterback-friendly receiver, or a wide receiver-friendly quarterback. Zach Wilson has showed me nothing, and then if I think the game is run by him with the offense, I'm probably against it. Until he can show me otherwise, I'm not saying I'm not open to Zach Wilson, just not of now. Steelers team's kind of been they don't really have an image as well. I feel like they should be playing Kenny Pickett over Mr. Trubisky, but especially in a game like this where he has a chance to go up against a defense of the Jets. But hey, I'm not running the Steelers. I'm just gonna go the Steelers because I feel like they're just better. I mean, I feel like you're throwing a quarterback in for his first regular season start. I feel like it's going to be a little bit different. Chemistries are going to be off. I feel like the Steelers are just going to kind of have a way better of a run game. They're going to be more balanced. Receivers are going to be a little bit better. I feel like the Steelers win this game by 10, 14 points.
For me, one or two things can happen. Zach Wilson starts, he struggles. They pull him, put Flacco in. Then who knows? To me, who knows the Steelers better than Joe Flacco for being in that division, playing against them twice a year? It would make sense to probably start Joe Flacco this game, but I guess since Zach Wilson is, like you say, he hasn't really showed anything. The Steelers up. They're kind of like up and down a little bit. I think they should just go ahead and start Kenny Pickett and ride the wave for the rest of the season. Stop playing these games with Mr. Trubisky. Um, I think Mr. Trubisky could be a service or backup, but as a starter in the league, he hasn't done well when he was in Chicago. So I don't see him why he would, but that's Mike Tomlin's thing. But if for some reason, if the Steelers lose this game to the Jets, you're going to probably hear them calling for Kenny Pickett, especially if Mr. Trubisky lose that game. So
I was just saying, with that being also like the Steelers have murderers row. I mean, after the game, they got to go next week. They play like the Bills. The week after that, they play the Bucks. The week after that, they play the Dolphins. Week after that, so it's like they're going up against these tougher teams. Like, man, if you really wanted to play Kenny Pickett, like just to see how he would look in the regular season, this game against the Jets is going to be good because you don't want to have to play Kenny Pickett against the Buccaneers. That defense is too good. You don't want to have to play Kenny Pickett against the Dolphins. Like, you don't want to have to play him against these good teams. You would rather play him against someone lesser. But man,
So I don't know, man. I want to say Steelers, but for some reason, Mr. Trubisky, he's probably gonna give the game away. I'll say Jets just for shits and giggles right now. I'll say Jets.
It's in Pittsburgh, Heinz Field. They should be able to pull this out. This ain't a tough situation for Pittsburgh. I'm not saying that Jets always rebuilding every year. I love Rob Salah. I definitely love Rob Salah. If I don't love anything else, I love a few coaches that he took on the staff with him for San Francisco. But it shouldn't be enough. Pittsburgh should just have enough to at least beat the Jets. Enough. They have enough. Regardless of Mr. Trubisky, they have enough to beat them. So those are my raw thoughts. Now we have the LA Chargers versus Houston. Livewire, let's start with you, buddy. Let's start with you.
Well, the Chargers better win this game because if they don't, their season could be really looking in flux. So, Justin Herbert, with his little injury, I think he shouldn't have played last week. But that goes to show, you come back and you still lost the game. So, Houston, they have never been a great franchise since they came into the league. They had all these top names. They never could get anywhere. Deshaun Watson gave them a breath of life for a little bit. This easy for me. Chargers. Just because they have everything over there where Houston doesn't. So, I mean, if the Chargers can't beat Houston today, then they just need a tank for the rest of the season.
Yeah, let's go ahead with your raw thoughts.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with that. I mean, this is a Chargers team that was beat up. I feel like maybe they underestimated the Jaguars a little bit more than they probably should have. But with them being beat up with that as well, it just didn't play into a good scenario for them. I feel like this is a Chargers team that's still fair. We're back.
You guys good?
Yeah, I'm good. Dylan's just freezing over there.
I thought something was flushing or something. I said I heard some water or something. What's going on? All right, so for me, Chargers should be able to win this game. Houston, I know they got a lot of injuries, a lot of turmoil going on in the Chargers. A lot of predictions. A lot of people think they were going to Super Bowl. It's a lot of early injuries. Maybe they'll get together before the end of the season, and they'll be able to prove the doubters or the people they chose them right. So right now, the Chargers win this game. Whenever Dylan gets back, we'll let him go back to that pick. But now we're gonna go with Arizona and Carolina. In Carolina, Bank of America Stadium. So Livewire, tell me what you got.
Man, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, and I honestly, man, everybody used to, they beat up on Baker. I like Baker. I think he's having that Carson Wentz syndrome. Not a bad rap or what? Not a bad rap, but just not a good teammate. And I think he's learning that a little bit now. probably over in Carolina because he knows that if it doesn't work out in Carolina, there's no chance that he's going to ever be a starting quarterback in the league. It's just you got too many quarterbacks that's coming out of college right now, and teams going to be still looking for quarterback. And he could be a serviceable backup, and he could be out of the league really quick. So this game is going to come down to which quarterback plays well. Kyler Murray, same situation. He has these great little explosive games, and next week he just folds under pressure. So to me, I look at the quarterbacks of both these teams. Which one is going to elevate their team the most to a victory? Will it be Baker? Will it be Kyler Murray? I could give Kyler the edge because he's a little bit mobile. Baker does show some inaccuracy a little bit, but both of them does. But I think Kyler has the upper advantage, so I'm gonna give the edge to Arizona just because of his mobility, and he could get the ball down the field to a wide open receiver. Baker he's still learning that team a little bit, and I think the main thing, Robbie Anderson never wanted him there, and now he's there. They have to play. They got to be. It's kind of like they're forced to play together. So, and then we have to see from that point. But I'm going with Arizona on this one.
Arizona is gonna win. I think Arizona's just a better team. They took a tough loss to the LA Rams. Going to Carolina. Carolina's still trying to figure their identity. They got a big win against the Saints, but they still have issues. Next year they probably won't even have a quarterback on the roster but Corral, who had a key injury earlier this year. So who knows what this season is like. Matt Rule still may be out the door unless he just automatically gets these guys to the playoffs. And if they go to the playoffs, then Matt Rule have saved his job. But with that being said, Carolina got 2 tough games coming up. So it could be a 2-game losing streak immediately. They got Arizona this week and they got San Francisco the next week. So with that being said, and both of them at home. So this could be disappointing. So maybe they get this win and maybe they get it done this week. So for me, I feel like Arizona should win, but who knows? And plus now I can't say this now. The weather, now this could be a helpful thing for the Carolina Panthers. Hurricane Ian, tropical storm, depression weather actually came through North Carolina this week. Nothing from what I know is like total damage or devastating or state of emergency. But I think they did say it, but I don't think nothing major really happened outside like Florida. So the weather, Arizona, dry weather. Arizona's always on turf. You got guys who can play in any kind of weather, but Arizona has to come into this very, very damp, wet field this week. So that could be a good key to the Carolina Panthers possibly pulling up the upset. But outside of that, I got Arizona. Now we have New England and Green Bay. And go ahead, Lawa.
Ooh, Bill Belichick against Aaron Rodgers. Man, that game last week between Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay can't put up points, and they known for putting up points. And I think Aaron Rodgers still getting used to some of the new guys on that team, but Bill Belichick, man, he always finds a way to neutralize you a little bit. I think this game, I know Matt Jones is not playing. I think Brian Hoyer is starting for them today. The journeyman. So Brian Hoyer, but Green Bay's defense has been playing pretty solid. I don't know, man, because I haven't watched New England that much this year, and and to see what they are about. I just caught glimpses of them. But I think Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay, that they should be able to win this game handily. They should be able to put pressure on Brian Hoyer. Aaron Jones should have a really good day running the ball. And then, Randall Cobb and Valdez Scandrick, should be able to have decent receiving yards against the New England. Like I said, Belichick, he does scheme well against certain top quarterbacks and stuff. But I just think with no Matt Jones and Brian Hardy there, I just don't think that New England is going to be in a position to win this game. I'm going with Green Bay, even though I don't like Aaron Rodgers, but Green Bay win this game. To me, I don't see this game really being close.
I'm about to wrap it up as fast as possible. I got Green Bay,
Yeah.
man. Green Bay, Matt Jones, nobody there. I don't care if he playing against Bill Belichick. Green Bay's just gonna win this game. All right,
Yeah.
Denver versus Las Vegas. That's a good game.
Yeah. I'm gonna pick the Raiders, you know what I'm saying? Until Denver shows Denver gets going a little bit and do some different things or develop some kind of running game. You can't sit there and like, well, let Russ cook. I mean, Russ can't cook for shit right now. So, and I think the Raiders. I think the Raiders take this one real quick. Not blow out, but kind of like a close one.
I think the Raiders do get their first win this week. Reason why is because the Denver Broncos have they have a top 5 defense. I'm gonna tell you that top 5 defense in the league. Buffalo, San Francisco was second. Third is Broncos. Fourth is Tampa Bay. Philly was number 5. Denver's defense is gonna be elite all year. Whenever they figure it out, even though they're in the AFC West, once they figure it out on offense, they'll be fine. They could possibly win the division. But right now, at the end of the day, no matter how much defense you play, if your offense can't score points, and which I feel like the other part of this is that this may be a coming out party for Russ. Reason why? Because this is an interesting game because you know what? I'm going to take my pick back. I'm going with Denver. Reason why I'm going with Denver is because the defense of Denver can do enough to stop the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the coming out party where I come with. The Las Vegas Raiders off defense is trash. And I'm saying that quickly, and this is the time where Russ can get his game together. This week will show that Russell Wilson can put points on the board. So I'm going with the Denver Broncos. Las Vegas Raiders will be 0-4. And if they're 0-4, Josh McDaniels got a conversation last week from Davis. He'll be out the door today quickly. So I'm going with Denver on the upset simply because I feel like the offense of Denver will score points on this not so good Las Vegas Raiders defense. Now we have Kansas City and Tampa Bay.
All right. I'm a Tom Brady guy. I don't hide it. Kansas City, the situation with Eric Bieniemy and Patrick Mahomes is going to be very interesting for the rest of the season. I do not think Eric Bieniemy will be there at the end of the season. Where he get a whole head coaching job, that's remaining to be seen. I think with possibly Julio Jones, Godwin coming back, and they got Mike Evans coming back this game also, and they elevated Cole Beasley. Tom Brady is going to really want to put that ball all over the field to them guys. I think matchups is going to be very, very interesting for this game. I don't see. If anybody knows Tom Brady's career, games, back-to-back games, he don't lose back-to-back games. A game that they knew they should have had last week against Green Bay. Tom Brady don't take losses lightly. I think they're gonna come in this game. They're gonna really they're gonna want to make a statement. Is home at Tampa, so the surface is going to be like Carolina a little murky. And everything like that. They're going to be ready to play. They're going to be ready to roll. I'm picking Tampa to win this at home because I don't see Tom Brady losing back-to-back games. That is rare, but he doesn't lose 2 in a row often.
For me, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been the same situation the Broncos have. They just haven't got together on offense. Again, that's a top 5 defense as well. Tampa Bay's defense is top 5. Kansas City always score points. Seeing Eric Bieniemy and Patrick Mahomes go at it is quite interesting, which I know that's usual stuff that we just don't get to see on camera. That probably happens behind closed doors. So it's probably nothing new with them. But to us, it's like, oh my God, they're fussing. But I mean, I'm pretty sure all coordinators and QBs, elite QBs and coordinators may have their times, or sometimes they don't have to necessarily be an elite QB. Somebody's going to always have something to discuss or talk about. But for me, I just think Tampa Bay gets it done this week, and it's gonna rely on the defense. But the Airbnb part, it almost makes me ponder. This could be one of the reasons why he don't have a head coaching job. When you see things like that, maybe people saying like, you really don't know what you're doing. I'm not saying he can't get it done. I can't say he don't need a job, but when you see things like that happen, it makes you think like, can he really get it done? Can he really do things? Is he really head coach worthy? Is he an OC? Is he living behind Andy Reid really? And Andy Reid just giving him permission to call some plays, but Andy Reid is still there with the rope like, hey, hold, wait a minute. Stuff like that. You think about that. And when you see those incidents, but I mean, Kansas City should better score. But man, I don't know if this team, Tampa Bay, gets the offense together, just like I said about the Broncos in the previous prediction, then we have something very, very special in Tampa Bay. And right now, it's the perfect time to get all the kinks out. It's too early to be talking about who won't be there, who not going to be there. Wait to week 8, week 9 to see who's going to really be elite or going to be consistent then. But right now, everybody's still coming off of OTAs, training camp. It's still week 4, still trying to get together. Injuries are coming around. Teams are practicing almost every day now. Sometimes they even rest during the week. So it ain't like with training camp where everybody's practicing all the time, somewhat on a consistent basis. Now you're resting key players who's making top dollars for the team to make sure they're healthy on Sunday or Monday or even Thursday, to make sure these guys are well prepared, for a big game, whatever. So Tampa Bay, man, Buccaneers got this one. Last but not least, the LA Rams versus San Francisco. Who you got?
I don't like the Rams, and I always been 49ers has always been my second team through history because of Joe Montana, Ronnie Lott, and Jerry Rice, and all of them guys. I always been a Joe Montana guy back then watching San Francisco play.
I talked to the committee to see if we get your honorary badge. Okay, go ahead.
I appreciate that. I just don't think the Rams still trying to figure themselves out also. And I think steady Jimmy, or porn star Jimmy, as Stephen A. Smith will call him. I think Doom keeping him, bring him back just for this purpose because of what happened to Trey Lance is going to be good. I think San Francisco defense always been great. It's always been elite, no matter where their position is in the top 10. They will be able to get after Matthew Stafford, and he has a little injury that they not talking about it as much, So I'm giving this edge to San Francisco. I think they're gonna find a way to upset the Rams. I think the Rams still got to have an identity of running the ball and not just want to throw it to Cooper Kupp all the time, because as the season goes long, defense is going to start adjusting to that slot or to Cooper Kupp, and then it's going to force you to go to other people. And I just don't think they not figuring out to go to like Allen Robinson or other guys on that team. So I'm picking San Francisco because of their history and what that I have seen them do on defense, And this is a division game, so it's going to be really, really, really tight. Now, before I let you go, the caveat to that is Jimmy G. Can he make the sound plays to get San Francisco that win if their defense plays well enough? That's one of the things that I want to see for him. Make that play without turning the ball over.
Oh man, here go my raw thoughts, man. And this is raw thoughts here, man. I'm still kind of disappointed last year that we dropped the interception. The Rams wouldn't even been in the Super Bowl if Jaquez Hart doesn't drop the interception. We could probably play content football and just get out of there running style and play our ball. We probably been back in the Super Bowl, but they gave them so many opportunities to do it. And then it led Jimmy G in a bad situation, which I don't think it was just necessarily Jimmy G. It was just a lot that was going on that play. But for me now, the 49ers own the Rams. Outside of that drop interception, they own the Rams. Just like Russell Wilson owns Denver, owns the 49ers. He always finds a way to win no matter what against 49ers. the 49ers, since Jimmy G has been starting under Kyle Shanahan on the Rams, since Jimmy G has been there, which is weird. Like he plays great football against the Rams, no matter what. Now, for me, like a lot of people are already trying to throw the egg in there. I still got the 49ers going to Super Bowl, not because I'm a fan, but I still got them because of elite defense.
Mm.
And they have a win now team. The only thing that happened during the offseason was people don't understand, like, and I want to tell people this. They always say that it's so easy. How can he not go ahead and play like this, play that? He was there last year. Listen, the next season comes around, OTAs, training camp. Teams, if you don't know that too much about teams, I'm getting to learn this now. A lot of teams may have the same quarterback, but may throw the entire playbook they had out last season, most of it, or somewhere now. They have a choice either keep the same playbook or throw it out. This season, they was already trying to get rid of Jimmy G, trying to make sure Trey Lance was good. So they pretty much put in all OTAs, all season plays that are based upon Trey Lance's ability, not based upon Jimmy G's. Then on top of that, they was trying to trade Jimmy G. Jimmy G had surgery, so Jimmy G wasn't around for training OTAs or training camp, which quarterbacks like that still need to be seasoned and be in shape and still build chemistry in multiple ways. That's like the perfect time to build chemistry, OTAs and training camp. So now you throw out the entire playbook. Not only you throw out the entire playbook, you don't need to give Jimmy G a playbook for the entire season, OTAs, training camp. You give him nothing. You just give him the honorary respect of, hey, we know we're still trying to trade you, but we'll allow you to come to practice, throw on the side, and kind of keep yourself in shape, do things like that, because we're still trying to find a way to trade you so you won't be a part of this. So no, you're not really part of the team right now, but we're going to still let you come here to work out, get everything straight, so you can at least be trade value and try to find a great destination for you, stuff like that. So no, you don't get a playbook. They intentionally didn't give him a playbook now, which is crazy because I always look at it like you never know what may happen. So luckily they got a deal situated. Then they eventually give him the playbook, but the playbook they give him still isn't much showing anything like that because they're still not expecting him to be there. So Trey Lance gets hurt. You throw him in. Now he pretty much is freelancing this year because they don't, when they go into the game, they don't even have that playbook. They have a whole Trey Lance playbook for all Trey Lance. So now you're asking Jimmy G to do what Trey Lance does, which is two different things. Now he's had a full week. Now he has all of the playbook or whatever playbook they're going to use for him and what he likes and what they like. So now you have a full week, a chance to like really see for the past 2 weeks to see what you're going to run. So I think the chemistry is going to build just like it's been. And even though Jimmy has been there for years, I already know what people are saying. It's going to really get better. I think this is the year the 49ers get to Super Bowl if healthy. Jimmy G stays healthy. Team we have, it's going to get better each and every week on the offensive end. I know some people say Kyle Shanahan plays are predictable, but we're going to figure it out. We're going to see what Jimmy could do because Jimmy G is on his last year of his contract. What better way to go out to try to win the Super Bowl or be in a situation where your value can go up? It's pretty amazing to see that he has a very high winning percentage and nobody still didn't want him because everybody's kind of afraid of his arm and stuff. And then they get him on a good deal. Now he's going to get all the senators that he asked for to restructure his contract. So for me right now, raw thoughts right now, I just think, and the Rams have 2 offensive linemen that are out. They have 2 guys, I think, or maybe out. So now the pass rush really is already good. It's going to get even better. I just see the Rams getting smacked around on Monday Night Football, and everybody's going to be saying the 49ers have gotten their identity back. Chemistry has got better. Jimmy G is finally getting back into his normal routine, even though people don't think Jimmy G is amazing. But it's still a difference. If he's not amazing now, you still want him in a certain routine. So I got San Francisco in Levi Stadium putting on a statement game. And by the way, if they put this statement, if they win this game, I'd rather say when they win this game, the 49ers will be in first place. They could possibly go on a 3-game, 4-game lose streak. They beat the Rams. They got the Carolina Panthers next week. And the week after, they got the Atlanta Falcons. Now, they could be a 3-game winning streak. Could be 4. Then they got Kansas City coming to Levi Stadium right after that. So it could be possible that the 49ers could go from 1-2 right now to 2-2 Monday night, 3-2 against the Panthers, 4-2 against Atlanta Falcons, to 5-2 after the Kansas City game.
Yeah,
that could be a possibility, and we'll be able to separate from the pack. It'll be game 7. Then you have game 8. So they have that schedule setup is pretty cool. So the 49ers have a chance to dominate the next 4 games, I say. And they could easily be 5-2. Kansas City is going to be a tough one. I really think that. But if they get past Rams, now upsets always happen. But if we had to predict, we'll probably say the 49ers going to beat Atlanta. 49ers going to beat the Panthers. We'll say that. But that's my raw thoughts. I think San Francisco comes out. Chemistry will be a lot better. I think this team will be a much different team compared to what they played against the Broncos, who, by the way, might I add, is a top 5 defense. So that does have a play a part. It's not just about quarterback play from Russ and Jimmy G last week. You had 2 teams who really could play defense, and you had 2 teams going at each other like that. So it was always the situation of made the best quarterback in one situation make the best play at the right moment, and the Broncos made the right play at the right moment.
I agree. And to your point with the Jimmy G situation, and it was reported that Jimmy G was going to get traded to Washington, but his shoulder surgery, held that deal up. Now, Ron Rivera started to rebuke that the notion, but I think Jimmy G was in play for us, and we just went with Carson Wentz because of that. So, but it's going to be interesting because we don't have to pick up Carson Wentz contract for next year, and then depends on Lamar's situation, depends on Jimmy G's situation. We could be having a different quarterback again, so it's very interesting. Or we could have a whole new different coaching staff. So
got that right.
So yeah, that's my take on it, and also watch out for Brian Leftwich too. He could be in play for a head coaching job, very shortly. Especially, it depends on what Tom Brady does after the season. So he could either stay with Tampa with Todd Bowles, or he could go out on his own. So we'll see.
And with that being said, that's Sunday morning drive. Football is on the way. We already got a game going on in London. I don't even know the score of it is. The Saints and I forgot the other team the Saints playing.
Yeah, because Alvin Kamara is not even playing.
Yeah, the Saints and someone is playing. I got it. The Saints and the Vikings. Saints and the Vikings are playing right now, and I figured out that score. That being said, Sunday morning drive is out. We talk to you guys later for another episode of Sunday morning drive next week.
Yes, it is. All right, y'all be good. Enjoy your Sunday.